The truth is that you are divinely guided, and that guidance never ceases to be there. Right? Sometimes you don't hear it as clearly. I know that for myself too. Now, there are certain things that we can do, you and me, to be able to hear that guidance more clearly. And there are certain things that we can choose to release and let go of, to decide to no longer allow into our lives, so that we can be fully one with that guidance. Where is that guidance coming from? It's you. It's who you really are. And I know that you've been hearing yourself more lately, and you've been doing an incredible job at actually listening and taking action from that place of who you really are. As you do this, your power grows, your energy grows, everything that you love about life grows when you listen to who you really are and you live from that place. Now, even though things have been going so well for you lately, the fact of the matter is, we live in a time and reality space where there's a lot of noise and a lot of different things going on. How do you discern between all of that? How can you tune even more deeply into the voice that is truly yours? One of the truths that we need to accept in this process, I've discovered, is that the noise exists. I spent a long time in my life trying to move somewhere else where there would be less road noise, for a simple example. No matter where I go, it always seems to find me. I can go to the most quiet, remote place out in the forest out here, and someone shows up at 1 a.m. and parks right next to me and blasts their dubstep music. I mean, I'm really not joking. That's part of the humor of the universe. So we can already check off the list that we understand together that running away from the noise will not stop it. Running away from what we don't want to experience doesn't cause it to stop. It will just keep finding us. But that guidance that's always here is perfect. So even though that noise exists, and you and I have to accept that, we also now can accept that that guidance is always here. For me personally, and I'm gonna guess, perhaps you'll be able to relate to this too, since you're here and we're sharing space. We obviously have a lot in common for us to synchronize and have this conversation with each other. If I listen to music or watch TV shows, for example, the noise of what's happening in that show, or even a phrase in the song, gets stuck in my energy field and in my mind for days, where I can be out here, for example, focused with the idea of making video, or focused even more greatly so on hearing my internal guidance and being connected to who I really am. And yet there's this story from this TV show I'm watching playing out. It's on loop. It's like this annoying thing that keeps popping in. So you're trying to focus on who you know you are and what you really want, and this noise just keeps coming at you. And I'll have music that I listen to loop over and over and over again incessantly. And it's in these spaces that it becomes increasingly difficult to hear our guidance. So what do? How do we hear that guidance again? The best part is that you already know, and that it's extremely easy. Even though it feels hard in those moments where there's so much chaotic noise happening. Even when you feel so disconnected from who you really are, you know that it's incredibly easy to tune into who you are again. The first thing you need to do is decide to. You make the real decision within yourself that you care enough about being in alignment with who you are, that you care enough about walking the path that is yours, that you care enough about when you speak it being your true voice. To care about that connection with Source, with God, with your divinity, to care about it enough to choose to be connected to it. Now, I know that sounds silly. How is choosing to value that connection going to allow me to hear it? Well, the fact of the matter is that a lot of people don't value that connection. They may experience it for a day or two and they feel amazing, and then all of a sudden it starts to go away because they're binging shows or consuming some toxic food, or they get caught up in their job or their goals or whatever. It can be different for each of us in different moments of our journey and paths. But the symptom is the same and the cause is the same. Not caring enough about the connection to focus on it, means that you will allow garbage into your energy field over and over again because you don't value the connection with who you are enough. Now, I know that you know what I'm about to say is true, that this very connection we're speaking about to this divine guidance, this very connection with who you are, is what brings manifestation success, is what brings love, joy, peace, abundance, wellness, vibrance, vitality, incredibleness. I mean, without this connection, all the actions you take will not yield you any fruit. To give you an example of this that I learned from an incredible teacher, if you're not connected with your guidance, if you're not connected to who you really are, taking any actions towards accomplishing any manifestation is akin to vacuuming your entire house without even plugging in the vacuum. Now imagine walking around every square inch of your house and building, vacuuming, 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 and wondering why there's still crap all over the floor. Because your vacuum's not plugged in. Now, nobody would actually do that, because on the surface level of reality, it makes sense to us that we need to plug in our vacuum before we can suck the garbage off the floor and return it to its clean state. But what we haven't realized is that energetically, for us to be taking actions in our life, if we're not plugged in, if our vacuum is not plugged in, it's the same thing as walking back and forth, wasting your time and energy, and digging yourself deeper and deeper into a dissatisfaction and wondering, why is all the work that you're doing to create this amazing life for yourself not paying off? I promise you that there's two things that have to do with why it's not paying off. Number one is divine timing, meaning that you still have some things on your journey that will help you to unlock and learn how to connect more greatly with yourself. And number two, you're not connected to yourself. So trust the divine timing in the sense of having a state of peace. And this is one of the things that I noticed is the most powerful way for me personally, for me. I wonder what works the best for some of my friends that are watching this. What works the best for me is maintaining a state of really just okayness with the way that things are. Meaning that even if my manifestations aren't happening the way I want them to, even if there is a mess on my floor, even if the highway noise is insane and someone pulls up next to my camp blasting dubstep and things don't look the way I want them to, I'm okay with it. When you're okay with it and you just allow that noise to be there, there's this instant shift that happens within yourself. I feel it, literally feel it, as this energy activates. And it moves throughout my body, and I start to feel it swirling right here. I feel all this energy moving up my spine, and I feel electric. I feel unbounded by my body. I become unlimited in a certain sense energetically. And all that I have to do to ever achieve that energy state is allow things to be the way that they are. Now, this sounds really simple, but it takes knowledge and practice to actually be at the vibrational space to do that. And when you can, you will immediately hear your guidance again. There's something about being in that vibrational state of allowing that makes it extremely easy to hear the guidance and be in tune with yourself. It's just natural. So the way that I do that personally is that I don't have importance on needing my reality to look a certain way. For me, I don't need a certain amount of money. I don't need people to treat me a certain way. I don't need the sun to be shining. It's okay if it's a rainy day. And I know that I'll even be okay if I go a few days without sleep. For me, it's this knowing within myself, because I've been alive long enough and had the journey of different things happening in my divine timing to discover that what is truly satisfying to me is to be present, to be here right now in this moment. And even if I was tied up to a wall and someone was torturing me, which is a very brutal thing to introduce in this video, I know, but I'm being rash on purpose, even if that was happening, I know something about myself. I will still be free. That even as a prisoner, I'm free. And it's because I'm free from myself. I'm free from needing things to satisfy me. Do I still strive for things and appreciate success? Absolutely, I do. But I'm okay with things being however they are. If I wake up and I have low energy or I feel negative, I'm okay with that. I don't immediately try to change the way I feel. I accept that I feel that way, and that's all right with me. And then I inevitably experience a shift anyways, which is the funniest part. So one of the most important things for you to do to maintain this guidance with yourself in such a noisy world is to accept things the way that they are. And think about it. As a human collective in society, especially in the Western world, in the USA, and I'm not sassing America, I personally love being here. I love that I can live my dream, and it's all because of where I live. I really appreciate this country. But there's certainly, very clearly, certain things happening in the mentality of the people in the collective in this country, and likely in other countries too, but I don't know because I haven't been there, where there's this unwillingness to experience ourselves, that we're not willing to really listen to who we are. And I think that it's because we're afraid. That's why when sometimes people don't feel well, their immediate response, without even thinking about it, is to take a drug, to drink coffee, to drink a beer, to smoke, or to turn on a television show, or to turn on a video game. Why is it that somebody would go to work all day and come home and their main goal, the second they come away from all the noise of their day, is to tune into some other noise immediately, as soon as possible, turn on the music, turn on the movies? Isn't that interesting? Success is going to come to you, and I know it, because I know that you're willing to sit with yourself, that you're willing to experience who you are. Most people get uncomfortable when they start to hear who they are. It scares them. They're not familiar with it. They haven't experienced it enough to know that it's who they are that they're hearing. But we're so busy trying to distract ourselves in the modern world that we're not hearing ourselves. Greatness will come to you if the next time, and the time after that, and the time after that, and the time after that, you feel uncomfortable or stressed or frustrated or annoyed or anything like that. Instead of turning on the music, instead of turning on the show, instead of taking anything, watch what happens if instead you just stay there in that space for 20 minutes, for an hour, for 4 hours. Just stay there in it. Watch what happens. I can't fully explain to you what happens. You got to see it for yourself. But to me, what it feels like when I do this, it's like this incredible light comes in and just dissolves all the chaos, all the noise, all the anger, all the confusion in me. It comes in and it just heals everything. And I just feel so free and light and energized, and it's incredible. And that energy and that incredibleness comes with me, and it comes through me in everything I do. The videos I make, the conversations I have with people, the type of lover I am, the way I eat my food, the way I vacuum and sweep the floor. Everything I do has an incredibleness to it. And that incredibleness comes from divine. I want to fully express that it is me. But on the human level, it's almost more like stepping out of the way to let some other power work through you. I personally believe that that power is me. It's who I truly am. And that I've manifested myself here to experience myself as this self and have this human experience. Somebody else may say that it's God, or that it's Buddha or Jesus. And all of this, all these names are perfectly great. The real purpose, the real point, no matter what your belief is about what power is healing and helping you in your life, whatever your belief is about what its name is fine. But one thing that those of us who have tuned into it can certainly agree upon is it comes to the person who's willing to take a good look at themselves. It comes to the person who's willing to step aside and listen rather than to be the one speaking. You are divinely guided. And in every moment, that guidance is here for you. Now, all we're going to do, now that we've really immersed ourselves in this energy, do you feel that difference in your vibration? Do you feel the difference in your energy from before you started this video? I want to let you know what you're feeling is your own presence. You're feeling your own sense of peace. You're feeling yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands over our hearts together. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow this energy that we're in right now, this peaceful, pleasant, allowing everything to be the way it is energy, to fully go into our heart. Feel it. feel this energy moving all through your body and all around you and pouring into you. And as it pours into you, it fills your heart. And as your heart fills, you will overflow with love and peace and joy. And there's this enlightenment that you are in alignment with. You feel it, don't you? All it ever really takes to tune into who you are is the choice to value it enough to actually sit down and do it. And if you really care enough about your connection to who you really are, then you'll sit down and you'll connect. It really is that simple. You are amazing, that you are so special, and you do have a divine purpose. Sometimes we get confused and walk this way. Sometimes we say, I don't want to deal with having to reconnect with that right now. I'd rather just smoke and watch this show. I know that reality. I promise you, I know that reality very well. I lived in it for years and years and years. And while there's a certain kind of relaxation that comes to you while you're eating and smoking and binging shows, there is a certain kind of relaxation that comes, I know. But it's more like you kind of just zone out and set yourself to the side and you just be the show for a while. You just detach. That's the pleasure of that. There's this other joy and relaxation and pleasantness that comes to the person who instead sits with that discomfort for long enough to see it for what it really is. And that, I promise you, is a sense of peace and relaxation and joy and fulfillment that is a billion times more satisfying and real than that other kind. And that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your life and go out and have a drink with your friends or watch a movie with your partner or play a video game. It doesn't mean that those things are the problem. The real problem is when you make a choice to do those things because you don't want to deal with how you feel right now. That's the problem. But you are the very solution to that problem you've been looking for. You are. So sit down and be it. Be your true self. Turn the lights on in the darkness and you will see everything for what it is. And you will be more free than most people have ever even experienced the word free could mean. Really. There is a freedom waiting for you and calling every single one of us. And I know that you wouldn't be here if that freedom wasn't already within you right now, just waiting for you to take a good damn look at it. Thanks. Much love to you, and I'll see you for the next Vibes and Frequencies video.